Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Sunday, April 9th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, that is Mahalo, and our energy mantra for today is Meow. And I nurture the freedom of being me. Today, we have a great instructor helping us, Mahalo. He's always one unto himself. I think animals, a lot of times, are some of the best helpers when it comes to reconnecting with our souls, because animals are so primal and they're so in the moment, and a lot of times they're not stuck in their heads. And so they're really great messengers for ourselves about being ourself. And Mahalo is serving me as we work into this. So, we are working through some interesting energy. We have Mercury going retrograde today. So Mercury retrograde is no reason to panic. It is no reason to freak out. It is no reason to think that the world is ending, which some, various sources of wisdom out there sometimes can lend to that kind of sensationalism. Any retrograding planet is just a call to go in. And a lot of times these things that come up that bother us, like Mercury retrograde, the technology stuff and the communication issues, are helping us get deeper into things that we need to look at. So this Mercury retrograde is going until May 3rd. It is retrograding back into Aries, 24 degrees Aries. So if you have any planets between 4 degrees Taurus and 24 degrees Aries, you may feel this energy specifically working on you. Or if you have any resonating planets, aspecting planets in various signs. But, this is such an interesting retrograde to me because it's beginning in Taurus, which works on our worth. It works on our abundance consciousness. Ooh, abundance consciousness. That's a good line to think about through this retrograde. And what I'm really feeling is diving in from this place in Taurus is helping us fill up those worth holes with divine light, with divine truth, with the remembering of who you are. And I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but this is still coming up, and there's some things in the astro that really are tying into this that we'll get more into. But, these wounds that we have around our worth, what I see, and I've done it, and I see, many people do it, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just, again, awareness. Awareness brings the shift and helps us keep evolving, changing, moving, growing, expanding. The wound doesn't come from you being who you want to be. The wound comes from either reaction outwardly, from you being who you want to be in the world, not knowing how to handle that, or not being who you want to be, but being who you are. It's not a desire so much as no, this is me. The soul desires to be who you are. Or the wound also comes from putting into place these things, these methods of fitting in, of being who the world wants us to be. And what we do, this just happens all the time because we're always trying to find our place in the world, and we all have that, I want to fit in, I want to belong, feeling. Even as we may be I don't need to fit in, I don't need to belong, but still there's that vibration of you're still engaging with this energy. You're still not completely engaged with I'm just going to be who I am. So what I see happen a lot is that as we try to find our place in the world, we're like a pendulum. We're swinging from one side to another. And so we go from one set of dogma to another set of dogma. Or we go from one set of shoulds, like the reality shoulds, into the spiritual shoulds. And this is a time to notice through this retrograde where you still may be trying to fill your worth with these dogmas, with these shoulds, filling in these places instead of filling in this energy within you with your own divine light. So really recognize, where are you swinging in the pendulum? Where are you finding your balance right now? Are you still in the reality shoulds? Are you in these spiritual shoulds? Which dogma are you subscribing to? And does it resonate with you truly? And it may where you're at right now, and that's totally cool. But it also may not, and it may be part of that longing to fit in. It may be part of that longing to find your place in the world. And your place in the world is right here, in your center, within you. And if you can get into that, if you can identify the feeling of what it's like to be centered in yourself and just acting from that place without those shoulds, without that dogma, without trying to fill in these other things, you're going to be very far on moving, grooving your personal healing path. Now, supporting this with this retrograde process of worth and I am and identifying the truth of your soul fire, we have this moon finishing up in Virgo today. So as this moon finishes up in Virgo, we have a mutable square, a mutable T-square happening. We have the moon opposite Venus. So Venus is retrograde in Pisces right now, taking us into this collective wounding, taking us into the wounding of the oneness, because this is not a thing that's unique to you. And I know this because I get to talk to so many people on such a regular basis that all, have some kind of resonance with this. You're not alone in feeling like you don't belong. You're not alone in feeling like you have to fulfill some certain criteria to fit into this world, but you're also not alone in moving beyond it. And every step each one of us takes in moving beyond it is helping our brothers and our sisters around the world. So this connection, the moon in Virgo, focusing on yourself, listening to your body. Your body can be such a key to this process. Your body, this is the home, the temporary home to your soul. So it's interpreting all this energy. And sometimes the body holds the wounds that we need to move through physically to help release the energetic, mental, spiritual, etc., wounds that we hold on to. So, moon opposite Venus. This is also squaring Saturn. So, Venus and Saturn are still engaged in this square. That Saturn, those beliefs, the beliefs that we have, the mutability, like, well, I can change my beliefs. I'll change my beliefs to believe this thing so that I can fit in. Or I'll change my belief to believe this thing so I can be happy. And if that works, then yay. But it also may not, again, be true to yourself. So it's always coming back to the self. Am I being true to me and my place in the world, my place in the oneness? I like that I made a triangle right here over my heart. I don't know why I did that, but that. Do this. That's your should. I love this connection too, because this connection is at 27 degrees. 27 is that 9, is that passion, is that fire within. Are you connecting to that fire that resides within and is helping you burn through this process, helping you burn through this old karma, helping you burn through these old lessons? Again, you're not alone in this. Now, this connection is happening at dream time. Many will be sleeping during this time, so this may come through your dreams, so pay attention. If there's any specific symbology that comes in your dream, helping to show you where you are, swinging the pendulum, trying to find your balance in this. Chiron is also interacting in this. Chiron is 26 degrees Pisces, so Chiron and Venus are nearing each other, helping us with these worth wounds and helping us let ourselves be the beauty that we are. Let ourselves be the beauty that we came to do. I got a playful kitty here. I love them. I wish you could see them, trying to support all of us in doing this horoscope. So that connection is still happening. I do think a big key of this is like noticing those shoulds, noticing where you may be trading dogma for dogma. One of the things that I see is we go from patriarchal energy, like, okay, these are the shoulds of the patriarchy. I'm going to live by this. I'm like, oh no, that doesn't serve me. I'm going to reject that. Matriarchal. Other side. But again, it's not balanced. It's still the swinging pendulum. Ideally, I saw somebody call it something. Danielle Laporte this week called it something. And I can't think of what she called it, but it was so good. Go look up Danielle Laporte talking about like matriarchy and patriarchy. But there's a balance. There is lessons from the yin and the yang, and we ultimately do want them to come into balance within ourselves and within the world so that we can be fully whole and healed and holy in and of our personal structure matrix. So, finally, we have the moon moving into Libra. This moon moving into Libra, again, is going to be engaging the cardinal T-square. I know, I'm sorry, it keeps happening. Especially this full moon that's incoming. This full moon that's incoming is going to be connecting with Uranus and Pluto. It's not going to be exact, but it's still going to be connected with those energies. And so This intensity is coming up, but this intensity is coming up so that we can change and transform and bring in this new vision of balance, and release this old way of being that had us on our knees instead of rising in our glory and rising in the light that we are, rising in our innocence. This is the Sun card. So here it is, like this new vision, this vision of innocence, this vision of your truth, this vision of your light, this vision where you're not holding back your inner voice. This is what holding back your inner voice looks like. And this is what many of us are doing with our talents, with our voice, through the shoulding of the shoulds, through the acceptance of the shoulds, from whatever, from whatever dogma that they come from. And we all do it. I do it too. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just bring about the awareness. The awareness is the key for helping reverse this, letting forth your inner voice and bringing forth this transformation energy. We're not quite there. And I think this has to do with this new vision card. We're not quite there. It takes time to go through this level of transformation. I see so much how so many are changing and growing and shifting, and it's beautiful and it's amazing, but it's a work in progress. So don't get frustrated with the time that it takes to do this. Everything is happening in perfect timing. This transformation is underway, but it takes time, and the universe wants us to take the time so we're ready for the power that comes when we are in balance and in our true sense of light. Yeah, so much to say today. So to finish up, I've got Whale card. Desire to delve deeper. Yes, please, with all this retrograde, please delve deeper. Profound peace. Ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they have overcome many challenges in their life. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. Wow, that's definitely key during Mercury retrograde. Compassion and communication. We are all in this together. Earth is not an easy lesson for pretty much anybody. However, with your attitude, you can make it easier for yourself and for others. Compassion is key. Compassion for yourself, too. This isn't just compassion for those around you. By the way, back to this. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. In balance, it's calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy steps into the old story. To bring into balance, regular self-care, bringing it into the physical body, taking care of yourself. I love Deepak Chopra's version of stress. What he says stress is when your physical needs are not being cared. I don't think he necessarily says physical. I think he says when your needs are not being cared for, because I think physical is a basis for it, but there's also those emotional, mental needs that you have that you need to fulfill as well. And this moon in Virgo is like, hey, show up for yourself. Show up here in this physical to help you traverse and shift these karmic energies that are coming through and coming up and being released at this time. Such amazing astro. So supportive of our process. We are so blessed to be able to bring our personal awareness up and forward during this time. So that is it for today. Have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.